Namaskar. Today we are going to know about biomimicry. This topic is under discussion for a long time. Ancient or in history of human, we learned from nature. We followed the nature. A lot of technologies developed after observation of the nature. There is some background of our Indian strength lies in adapting nature-based principles for the application of the world problems. To solve any world problems, we used to consider anything as a form of human being. That is our methodology of application of any problem to anything. Suppose a village you take, village is a form of a human being. Our design methodology consists of a human being or a creature, a tree, or it can be considered as a living animal or any bird. We consider any design with the basic principles of nature taken into consideration. A house also Vastu Purusha Mandala. You call it as is a human being. Human being, how he need to breathe, where heart should be, where functional veins should be, how it should function by itself, how it can have its energy contained in itself, is our Indian design methodology. Any problem you want to find a solution, our analysis procedure also is having its own method. Suppose a problem is there. Problem will analyze such a way. What is the root cause method is fishbone, other methods are Western methodology they teach you. Indian methodology, you observe the nature. How you observe the nature? Nature is having some characteristics. Nature characteristics are when it will be disturbed. When nature is disturbed, suppose a sudden a heat wave came, then nature will be disturbed, but nature will have its own functional remodification of it. It finds its own solution by a method of the heat is more, heat can be reduced by another cold wave. So there is a mechanism inbuilt in the nature. In our body, there is a heat is increased to reduce the effect of any external body into entering into our body. So there is mechanism in nature inbuilt to find a solution. So a solution is emerging out from nature observation and a basic principle of nature. That is called, we are mimicking the nature. We are mimicking the biology. That is called biomimicry. Now you say artificial intelligence, everything is growing and industrial revolution, will come to that, how we emerged out into the point. A brief presentation I'll make today about biomimicry is next going to industrial revolution 5.0. So that's what today's topic. I'm General Murthy, I'm coordinator of Vijnana Bharati Telangana. So I'm taking this session about next generation, what's going to be next technology. That is going to be biomimicry. That is based on Indian ethos, Indian values towards the nature. We observe the nature, you get into the nature. That is about next industrial revolution going to be. How it will be in a brief presentation, we'll go through that. Yes, this presentation is about some overview it is giving to you. Next industrial revolution 5.0. So how next industrial revolution 5.0 going to be bio-imitated technology or biomimicry. What is biomimicry is, you are imitating natural ways and you are finding a solution. So that is about biomimicry. So in this technology, directly or indirectly, we need to understand that the human species already captures nearly 40% of the total biological productivity on land and 70% of productivity on the marine environment. The rate of increase of human use is about 2% per year. So these are taken from whatever is global education project. So from that I have taken this inference we are having 70% of the productivity of the minimum. The rate of increase of human use is about 2%. So that is a problem next coming generations are facing. Biodegradation is coming because of the technology. Whatever is happening is not preservation of the system. It is about our method is utilization. The Western method of technological innovations made the ecology system to be disturbed and total now the situation in a situation we are in a situation we cannot sustain this development, we cannot continue this development. So you see the industrial revolution, how it is emerging and how 5.0 is coming up, why it should be biomimicry. You will understand from this. As per, these are all references made in different context of whatever industrial classification. As a 1.0 steam-based engines, machines came up, and because of that, machinery improved with somewhat movements. Till that time, it was like a machinery with the manual movements. So instead of manual, there is seems to be some kind of automation. Engine came into picture. When engine came into picture, the movement became steam engine became useful in the industry, and industrial revolution 1.0 you can call it as, that can be in the 18th century that happened. Second industrial generation is 19th to 20th, particularly electrification. First electrified cities. Chicago and a lot of electrification happened, motors, everything, generators. So this electrification intensive mechanization happened in the second generation of industry. That is during First World War, maybe up to Second World War also. The radars, everything came up. All machinery with electricity based big entities came up with generators, and generator based running diesel engines. Everything came up. These are all second generation machinery, second generation kind of industry. Third generation is about now transistor came in 40s, 50s, and it improved versions came up. First calculator, big machine in the room, and that time it was not useful for the industry. But in the 80s, when IBM, everyone came into picture, and CMC in India, and everyone participated in the computer era. Then computer became a practical entity, and that time DOS, other things came into picture. So other mechanisms, computer became a utility in banking system particularly. So and also in machinery also some cases were fixed. Particularly till 8051 and microcontroller and 8086 in 85, 89 and 90s coming up, in a big way. That kind of improvement didn't come, but we could see point of sales improvement in 80s, 90s with computers, and a lot of mechanisms, observational mechanisms, and entry mechanism calculations. So these kind of improvements came into existence in industry. That is some movement, conveyor belt movement, everything coming, some seamless additions of machinery. So some CNC machine came in 90s. It is improved a lot, and later telephone communication improvement and a lot of things. When cellular increment came up in communication technology, then other improvements coming up. By 2000 end, we have Y2K problem, everything solved, and we entered into another era of implementation internet. So internet based all technologies came, and viewing of machinery, SCADA, other systems came up. So second level, third level, fourth level viewing of entire system industry, that kind of a systems connected. Global connectivity, global view of industry, that kind of a systems came up, and a distributor at one location, a manufacturing at one location, a assembly unit at another location. This kind of industry growth came up. That is 2002, 2010, I can say. And later, it's all about social media and internet entered into other level where artificial intelligence based information technology. So IoT, other things of digital technologies, big data. So all these things are revolutionizing the computer technology, and every mobile is becoming a computer now. So with that technology, everyone industry is becoming into, every mobile is in a system, and every decision making is dependent on logical conclusions of a digital data. So in this scenario, the improvement came up in industrial revolution. We call it as industrial 4.0. So no one who is working without any digital knowledge, without any computer programming or any fundamentals of at least Excel sheet, at least a data generation point, they know at least operation of a computer, they cannot work in industry. That is the situation now. Everything depend on artificial intelligence and machinery growing up to next stage, where even my games also will be played by a robot. Even my house is cleaned by a robot. So the mechanism, my agriculture is entering with robo mechanisms, and here challenges are coming up in this scenario, where how I supply power, how my power supply problems will be reduced. This scenario, now questions are coming up. Now, how can I sustain this development? Whether it is without a battery, without any solution of my how much consumption of energy, how much energy dependency is coming into picture because of these innovations. The technologies now, polythene based packaging, these are all looking like a temporary based solutions, where how it will be harmful to total nature, and nature will be destroyed, and how human beings can sustain, how long we sustain with this kind of energy demand. So these are all questions coming up in this generation, and also how too much dependency of machinery. How can I sustain this? These questions are coming up in industrial 4.0. At this juncture, there is need for a new thinking about what is basic understanding of our technology should be. Then these questions are coming up at this juncture. Then this is slowly defining what is going to be industrial 5.0. We need to be very balanced, and we need to very first to enter into the understanding of the next generation is, so that we will be prepared to enter into that one. We'll make our research enter into that one. We'll make our ecosystem enter into that one. We'll learn how we can develop a new technological growth for the new generational roadmap of industry. So that is a context now we are discussing today. That is about what is the revolution 5.0 pickup. Energy intensive and radiation intensive technologies demanding more and Earth atmosphere. Everywhere computing needs demands for less energy per node of operation requirements. What biomimicry, how it is fits for industrial revolution 5.0. Biomimicry is about observation of nature and its methods in all fields of life to create solutions. The economy, energy, social constructs, environment, technological innovations, machines, all inspired with nature. It's the key principles. Observe the nature to get the solutions in the method. Industrial 5.0 demands sustainability that's possible only with the adaptations of the nature. Ancient technologies of all the world has a basis of nature. Hunting, how human learned hunting is observing tiger, observing lion, observing dogs. How we have constructed our houses, observing birds, observing ants, observing rabbits, observing rats. A basic phenomena of human construction of a house construction started observation of animals only. So how animals are intelligent? Yeah, maybe humans are intelligent than animals, but human are also learned from animals. Movement, desert camel movement, a lot of innovations came in following camel. A lot of innovations came in automotive industry. Those are all intended for desert travel. And sea, observation of fish. Observation of fish made us to have sea sailing boats, everything, new methods, and whatever is the reduction of our how fish will swimming in the sea. So we have inventions of a lot of fish based things, and small boats to submarines, everything invented based on movements of fish. And on land, bullocks, horse, speed for the speed. So hills, donkeys. So a lot of observations made from animals to get a technological inspiration, to get a technological triggers. So this is we should not forget. We are basically emerged out our technologies from nature only. Again, we are going back. That is what we need to learn. Learn from Vedic approaches is more important, because Vedas describe about nature. Vedic technologies are all about nature dependent. Vedic technologies insist about usage of nature and protection of nature. And the technology is sustainable technologies emerged out from the nature-based principles, and which are long live along. By itself, it can reproduce. Nature is having a reproducibility. Nature is having a that's what Indian concept is. We have a tree in a seed in a tree. Seed in a tree, tree in a seed. That is what our Vedanta says. So that is how we have a sustainable mode of operation we have created. That's what we call it as in Vedas. They studied nature's drama, sandstorm. They intensively discussed intense lightning, terrific thunderclaps, the heavy rush and rain in monsoon, swift flood. We described scorching heat of the sun, cracking of flames of the fire. All these things described in Vedas. The Vedic sages felt greatness of the forces. They added these activities. They appreciated these forces. They worshipped natural things, and they told about the nature is important for us, inspiration of technology. That's what we need to follow. We will go back to the Vedas. That is what the now next technological revolution is talking about. This sloka which is giving about everything should grow. Antariksham Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Apa Shanti, Oshadhaya Shanti, Shanti Reva, Vishwa, Sarvam Shanti. This what even plants, even medicinal plants, even normal food plants, everything, water, your earth, everything should grow. For what? Everything is having a rebounding nature, reproducible nature, everything have a growth capability, everything is having a prana, everything having a life. This life should sustain. There is our prayer. That is called Om Jo Shanti, Antariksham Shanti, Pradesh. This is from Yajurveda. Atharva Veda, it is having references. So this famous sloka we use, this refers about a sustainable world where we need to create. So that is a inspiration for our understanding of the new technologies and creation of new technologies. Main Indian pathways in science was nature, nature and nature. Rigveda, Yajurveda is having a lot of inferences of this, what we need to do with the nature. If you observe the nature, its structure, its leaves, its tree varieties, and its leaf varieties, bigger ones. Why bigger ones at one kind of places only they grow? Why larger leaves will be in one place only they grow? Small leaves, one places only they'll grow. Small leaves having one kind of a medicinal properties. Big leaves are having one kind of a surface area increment and oxygen consumption. Increment of oxygen release is more in that trees. How this kind of a phenomena is happening for this kind of a trees having that kind of benefits. This classification is very easy for us. After observation of a science, biological phenomena, and understanding Ayurveda, we'll feel that this natural classification and natural usage for our day-to-day, maybe for benefit of our health or maybe benefit of our day-to-day dwellings, everything is created based on this particular region, this particular tree will grow, other trees will not grow. Why only in Punjab you will have basmati rice? The smell of basmati will be more clear. Why Karnool rice in the area of a delta where Tungabhadra, Karnool region rice is having that much famous quality? So these are all the area geographical regions are having its own production of nature and the land forms and also different kinds of trees, everything emerged out quality and the proportion of that particular area. So in that area, that particular conservation of that particular form and process we need to observe, and we need to generate our principles over how we can adapt that, what is the benefit it is giving to that region. So how can our production of technological design also should be based on those principles. We should not mistake, we should not remove out these principles, so that will sustain. See, single cell to multiple cells organisms. Mastavatara, you say Kurmavatara, there is some evolution process of nature. So evolution process, this described a single cell creature also is a learning basis for us. Even for a minute years, how we can receive how a single cell is also is having a function of eating and production of energy. A single cell organism is working. So that phenomena we need to observe and understand. And they are existing, still they are producing the energy. Why can't we use them and use it for a simulation of energy productions? Why can't we generate more cytokine? These are questions coming. Why can't we have a natural cell? So the understanding of a cell, why can't I create a natural cell growing into my cell phone, and that growth process will make me to have my battery life. So these are all questions and research going on in these areas. And if you observe in process and nature inbuilt process, for every 2 kilometers, the size of 1 meter, and where humans, the most important variable for the solution of a problem is the manipulation of energy uses. So structure, substance, if you observe here, the colors, whatever is given, problem resolution will be more for 1 meter, up to 1 meter for humans, maybe 1 kilometer for nature. So the observation will be, if I take the scale the same, then both information is more needed for the nature. They have information transfer. You might observe now, corona is nothing but information transfer. RNA information is transferred to human, saying it as a I am so and so. This information disturbing the human cells to produce another human cells. So this information is important in nature. And nature is having its own method of transfer of DNA form, RNA form. There can be other multiple methods where information is transferred, energy transformation, time variations, space variations, structural variations, substance variation, all are uniform in the kind of nature. But in humans, if you see, energy consumption is more. So energy you consume is more if ranges are more. So these are all and the ranges also less. Also energy consumption is very high. So humans are using more energy dependent technologies. Nature is having a less energy dependent technologies. That is key of technological background. If you analyze the nature versus humans, this you go on observing nature. This is the first thing we can see. Everyone will be even now a viewer's bird nest. I cannot make in artificially perfectly in lab. The natural structural whatever is the weight of the bird is taken into consideration, and it is hanging against the gravity. But the principle, whatever is the comfortability, accessibility, self-timed, automatic construction, all these things if you take into consideration, and nature, from the nature it will construct everything. The raw material is not costly, low cost. So this is what we need to learn from a weaver's bird nest, how they construct, and we need to observe, and next level technologies to be built after observation, and based on the principles we need to get into. And earthquake resistant, it is having a lot of properties. We can make a big paper on the simple weaver's bird nest. And you see lizards you observe, they are holding on walls. And why can't you, after observation of a lizard, why can't you have a sellotape with this mechanism, following the same method? Why research is not entering into this way? Observation of a lizard leg, and mimic the lizard leg and make invention of a sellotape. Same chemicals you can use, whatever is produced on legs of a lizard. Why can't we reuse the same method? And zebra, if you observe, it is having its own convection currents, is controlled with white and black stripes on its body. Why can't we use this one similar in our convection currents to be created? There are questions where you see polythene is the biggest disaster humans invented. We use we have polymers in nature? Nature is will be using only 5 kinds of polymers, maybe carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen. So simple compounds they use, and it will build multiple structures, and multiple varieties of human beings, creatures, all nature, all phenomena is occurring with 5 polymers. Why we need so many polymers? The 300 polymers we invented as humans. Is it needed? We need to question now. We can reduce that with the observation of nature. Why can't? And this, I am giving one example from a company, Dysol. They have designed solar energy photosynthesis artificially can be created. So with water and there is photosynthesis you can do artificially, and following the method of whatever leaves it happens. Similar way they produced energy in a similar fashion of photosynthesis, observing and mimicking photosynthesis. And there is another company, Mincor, they technologies. How can it be? Wall can be cleaned by itself. This method they invented from leaves of a lotus. Lotus leaves, water will not be staying on the leaves; it will fall off. So similar way, the structure of a water-resistant coats, water-resistant paints on walls. They made such a way, they introduced a topography such a way it will physically water drops don't stuck and the surface it will fall according to whatever the topography of lotus leaves are taken into consideration. That method they applied into paint and paints are successful. That kind of a waterproof paints are possible because of observation of nature only. And without chemicals, there is algae, bacteria deposits will be there. If you observe skin of all our sea creatures, sharks particularly. So whatever is algae, bacteria deposits, they fall off automatically because of the skin structure on their body. Why can't we follow that and use it on our submarines? These are all questions coming up. And there is Namibian desert beetle. This is important thing where we say Latur scarcity of water problem. So scarcity of water problem, you observe desert animals, desert birds. The desert beetle is one example. They have exoskeleton contains hydrophilic bumps and hydrophobic valleys. Morning fog from ocean stands vertically into the wind on top of the hills. Water drop forms until gravity brings it into mouth. So it is having its own way of quenching its thirst and generation of water. So there is some development happening in a similar method. Water collection is tanks are built. There is a big fabrics are kept, and from the fabric material, water will be collected. From the moisture will be converted into water drops. So after following the Namibian desert beetle, this invention came into picture. And Caroline dry self-healing concrete. There is a method where concrete will be healed by itself from the breaks, whatever is happening. There is a Reno is having its own method. It broken horn can be tissue can be readjusted. Similar way, there is will be in concrete some kind of a tablet kind of a thing will be kept and it will heal breaks in the wall. So that kind of a systems are emerging out. How I can generate a biomimic product? What you need to do is you need to observe the form, you need to observe the process, you need to observe the ecosystem. What is making it to generate? Where, which geographic conditions it is happening, where it is happening, on what condition, why it is happening, what all steps are there in that process, what is the form it is helping you to make that to happen. So these inventions will happen based on these observations basically. It happened already, it is going to happen in future also. For example, in Japan, there is a big problem of beyond 200 miles per hour when it is reaching a train metro. Then what is happening? The bullet train, the big sound is coming when it is going inside any tunnel. There's a big sound is coming. Sound will make a lot of vibrations and a lot of structures are collapsing because of that. The huge sound is making it go slow and the speed is reduced and a lot of losses for the bullet train. Then the person CEO of the bullet train company observed, started observing birds. The kingfisher is having its own unique quality. It will enter into water without any noise. So when kingfisher bird is having a nose very larger way and similar to kingfisher nose, they have built the structure of the train front body and the sound effect is gone. With even 200 above miles per hour, there is no issue of the sound. So that's all became possible because one person got an idea to observe form of a kingfisher as a enabler for his invention that made him to understand the solution. So solutions comes up with observation of nature. The steps to realize is identify the function where you want to apply. Here he observed train speed. So you might be observing on a movement printing and maybe color changing or a LCD screen or a display. So a lot of methods are there, color changing creatures are there according to the surfaces. So a lot of mechanisms are there in nature. You can observe that and you can apply those principles into your product. And define the context. a nature modification of relationship of the challenge, discover natural models, abstract into design principles, emulate nature strategies, evaluate against life's principle. So these are all the steps you need to follow when you realize into bio-inspired products. And the coming age is of nature and nature dependence dependent technologies. That is going to be the world now. So thank you. About biomimicry is going to be the sustainable future. And next to 5.0, all inspired technologies are going to be understanding of the nature, applying the nature-based growth. There is no need of a battery. There is no need of a packaging solution inspired without any artificial creations. All nature observation, maybe again classification of observation of our nature going back to Indian way. Panchabhuta mechanism of observation, Panchabhuta mechanism of classification, Panchabhuta as a source inspiration, and we again pray Jo Shanti Antariksham Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That is about everything, all nature to be uniform, and we learn from nature, we create nature again. That is about biomimicry, creation of a nature from our observational practical utilization. So with this, we enter into a mode where we need to understand basically a structure where we are entering into nature dependent and non-nature dependent areas. We need to slowly enter into nature dependent, nature observant structures. That is going to be the next systems going to be, not only electronics, in all areas, even your social structures, everywhere you can define biomimicry, even in economy, even in banking system, even every area of human life, in transportation, mechanics, not only engineering. So you can get into the system. That is about our structure. Thank you. This is about biomimicry. Thank you. Any questions? Welcome. That is about the nature. That is what you need to understand. And we'll go further on the series of Vijnana Bharati Telangana. There is going to be Ram Krishnaji's and Praveen and Jitendraji's classes going to be. Thanks for all participation. Thank you very much. We follow biomimicry as a next phenomena going to be. That is the industrial revolution.